Whiteboard exercises or live design sessions are a common part of a product design recruitment process. Today, I will share with you 3 biggest mistakes that I saw candidates make during this activity. I will tell you why it is important to avoid them and what to do instead to pass the exercise and be one step closer to your dream job. The whiteboard exercise is a design challenge where you receive a problem to solve. Within a given time frame, usually between 1 to 2 hours, you need to analyze the problem, walk the team through your design process, and propose a potential solution. It can be executed in person using a literal whiteboard and markers, or remotely using tools like FigJam or Miro. Let's start with the why behind the whiteboard exercise, because it seems to be a controversial topic in the design community. The controversy is that it's too stressful for the candidate, and it's not enough time to assess the design skill set. And I disagree with both statements. I think that spending 1 or 2 hours with someone on exploring the problem is actually extremely valuable. It's similar to a quick exploration like a workshop. I would even go as far as stating that if I had to choose between only seeing someone's portfolio or only performing this exercise with a great prompt, I would choose the exercise because it's harder to hide things and it's easier to assess someone's logical thinking and problem solving. In addition, it's more time effective than a take-home task, which is a common alternative, and it gives better input for both interviewer and interviewee. But enough about the controversy, let's focus on the purpose of the whiteboard exercise. The goal is to assess the candidate's ability to problem solve, think creatively, collaborate with the team, and communicate the ideas effectively. It gives a hiring team a taste of how it would be to collaborate with you on a daily basis. With those goals in mind, let's analyze the 3 biggest mistakes designers make that prevent them from passing this exercise. One of the biggest mistakes to make during the whiteboard exercise is simply not asking enough questions. Many designers assume that they understand the problem and they jump straight into sketching out the solutions. It's a huge red flag. The purpose of the prompt that the team prepared for you is to start the conversation, not to be the only source of information available to you to come up with a solution. You should treat the initial phase of this exercise as if it was a real-life project. Find out the most you can about it, create the hypothesis and validate them, and eventually define the scope of the project. To avoid making this mistake and make sure that your solution addresses a real problem, you can ask the following questions. Who is the target audience? What is the business problem we are trying to solve? Why solving this problem is a priority right now? How is this problem currently being solved? Are users happy with the current solutions? Why? Why not? How do we know that it is a problem? Does the research say so far? How does the solution fit into the product? What are the constraints we are working with? By asking those questions, you show your analytical thinking, you make sure that you have a good understanding of the problem, and you align expectations before moving forward to the solution space. In addition, you should also ask questions that you have about the design prompt. For example, what is a desired form of delivery? Should you prepare the low-fidelity mockup, a sketch, or just a UX flow? By the way, if this video has been helpful so far, you can subscribe to my channel. I will be sharing more interview tips in the upcoming videos. Now let's move on to the mistake number 2. Another mistake is defending your solution too fiercely. It's a common misconception that the design outcome is the focus of the whiteboard exercise. And while it is important to be confident in your ideas and be able to explain why you've chosen a certain solution, it is even more important to collaborate with the team and to be able to receive and implement feedback. I made this mistake years ago as a candidate. At the beginning of my career, I didn't understand the balanced nature of this exercise and I was focused solely on coming up with the best solution and defending it. The team actually shared the direct feedback with me that they were excited to work with me as I was exploring the problem and the solution space. But later on, the meeting took the 180 turn when we moved on to feedback and collaboration, and I was closed to any suggestions. Think about it like this. You're in a position when you're coming up with a solution for a project that you have a really limited understanding of. The team is the expert in the room. It makes sense to listen to them, ask for feedback, and be open to suggestions. Coming back to the goals for this exercise from the hiring team's perspective, they want to test your problem solving and collaboration skills. So being stuck in your ways is the opposite of what they want to see. To sum up, be able to adapt and change your solution. The goal is to find the best solution possible, not to defend your initial idea. Before we move on to mistake number 3, I would like to share with you that soon I will be launching the UX Job Interview Sprint, a complete course that prepares you for product design and UX job interviews. We will discuss different types of interviews and how to prepare for them. I will also share answers to the common questions together with the mistakes to avoid. If you're interested, you can find the link in the description to join the waitlist, or if you're watching this video later on, it will be a link to the course. Another mistake that designers make during the whiteboard exercise is focusing too much on aesthetics. It applies especially to a remote version of this exercise when you're using Figma or another tool that is way more powerful than the whiteboard and the markers. I've seen designers jumping straight into high fidelity or even cutting the screenshots of the application. It's not a good idea. Realistically speaking, you don't have enough time to come up with the polished UI, so even trying to create something aesthetically pleasing is a waste of time and a misunderstanding of the whole exercise. The primary focus during the ideation phase should be to generate the wide range of ideas. You should be freely sketching the solutions and evaluate them based on their impact, feasibility, and usability. Of course, try to keep your sketches tidy, but don't stress out too much about the aesthetics at this point. Let's summarize what we talked about today. The main goal of a whiteboard exercise is to assess candidates' ability to problem solve, think creatively, collaborate with the team, and communicate the ideas effectively. There are three biggest mistakes that designers make. Mistake number one is not asking enough questions. The second mistake is defending your solutions too fiercely. And the third mistake is focusing on aesthetics. I hope that you will avoid those mistakes during your next whiteboard exercise and you will impress your future team with how effective it is to collaborate with you. Let me know if you made any of those mistakes in the past or if there are any other errors that should make the list. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.